Today, I'll be talking about ways you can reduce costs for my upcoming brides and grooms. I am a Nigerian who had her wedding in the UK, and I know how these things can be when you're having your wedding abroad. To me, I really feel like it's sort of more expensive, but you can reduce it if you do the steps that I'm about to discuss about in this video. And if you are an upcoming bride who is having her wedding abroad, either in the UK, the US, whatever the case may be, then you need to watch this video to get the tips on how you can lower your cost. So before we get into the video, so my name is Grace and I do share like my life experiences in every areas of my life. So you learn from it, we can talk about it together, and you know that you're not alone. So that's the reason why I share my experiences. So I would be giving you tips as brides or grooms on how you can reduce your cost for your wedding without like really or necessarily reducing the quality or the experience of the wedding itself. I am Nigerian and I had my wedding in the UK. So with everything I'm going to say on this video, it would apply to you if you're having your wedding anywhere like abroad, just anywhere really. I think it would really apply to you if you can't use these tips. So we're going to start first, okay? So I wouldn't talk about anything without talking about the guest list, because this is where the problem starts, okay? This is where the problem starts. And as Nigerians or as Africans, I feel your pain. I know it. It's so hard, like with the guest list, you want to invite this person, like your mom, your dad trying to invite this person and all of that. But I bet you that if you're able to be really strict about that, again, I know it can be difficult, but if you can get this part right, by reducing the amount of guests that you're expecting and only having people who mean something to you, you're on your way to success. That's the first things first. You don't want to have so much numbers and of people you don't even know, you don't care about, or you haven't even seen in your life, okay? And when I talk about like the guest date as well, so we talk about like people who like to come with like plus ones. In my own wedding, I was quite strict with it. You can't come with your plus one, but it had to be a case where I knew that plus one, or that plus one is your partner, your spouse, your children. Of course, they're part of you. But if it's like, oh, you want to bring a plus one of a friend, and I don't really know that friend, I'm not close to that friend, I wasn't going to take it. And with all due respect, I just had to decline, like just nicely to all my guests, like, I'm sorry, you can't have that. So you have to stand on business that you're not going to take anybody or anyone just because, okay? So that's the first things first. So the second thing I'm going to talk about is actually dependent on the individual, but this video is particularly for brides or grooms who are on a budget but still want to have a good wedding, okay? So this is not for people who can afford every and anything. So the second tip I'm going to say now is about your wedding dress. I personally believe that you don't have to keep that wedding dress. Maybe controversial, okay? Yeah, I know. Again, I just said that's for people who are on a budget. You don't have to keep your wedding dress. So what did I do? So for myself, I had like a deal with the vendor. So I did not hire a dress because I also did not want to hire a dress. I wanted to also wear like something really new. Not something really new, something that is new and made for me. But I just had like a deal with the person who made my dress that she would make my dress and I would resell it to her. So what would happen is, if you're supposed to charge me, for an example, like £1,000 for it, she was going to now charge me like £500 because she knew that eventually I would give her back the dress and then she can rent them or resell them however she wanted to do it. But at least I really got the feeling of wearing like a dress tailored for me, made for me. I didn't have to like rent a dress. So I still had that experience of wearing a new dress, but I didn't necessarily like keep the dress or had to compromise or look for who would buy the dress on my own and just have the dress in my wardrobe wailing out and thinking, oh, my daughter is gonna wear it and she may not even like that style in the nearest future. So if you can't do this, then this would also help you save money. Just talk to your vendor or talk to like your designer. She can work something out for you. So the third tip now is to repurpose things as much as you can. You have to try to use things for different things, like the same thing for different things. I'm going to give you an example. So in my wedding, I had like this beautiful arch. I'm going to insert pictures. I had this beautiful arch that I used for the outdoor, and after the outdoor, I brought it in again for the reception, and that's where we sat for the reception as well. So I wasn't just going to have like two arches where one would be used for outside and then the other one would be used for inside. So it didn't make sense to me, and I had to stick to somewhat the same kind of decoration so that could also match with both the outside and the inside. Another thing I did was also, in terms of hiring chairs, I hired enough chairs, but I also made sure that I repurposed them as well, because outside I had like the officiation of the wedding and everything, and then inside was the reception. So what I did was, after the officiation, then the vendors actually moved the seat again. So while we were taking pictures, the vendors now started moving the seats from the outdoor into the reception so people could use that to sit in the reception. And that just only makes sense, because when I did check the price to hire more chairs for outside and for inside, it wasn't making sense to me, but I had to just repropose that, and it really helped me to come down and cut costs. So the next tip now would also be per person again. I know like these things are specific sometimes, but it could sound controversial, but I personally don't think you need that humongous wedding cake. Trust me, you don't need it. I know most of those cakes are dummies, so what's the point? Like, what's the point? I'm going to insert what my cake looked like. It looked so simple. Again, you don't have to go for me, because I wanted to have like a minimal floral wedding. That was my own taste. You can't do it to your taste, but just look at the cake I had here. To me, this cake is actually so beautiful, so cute, so minimal, and I love it. I didn't have to put any fake cake there. Everyone ate cake, everyone was happy. So you don't need to be charged for dummies, okay? For all of you who would want like 200 inches of cake, and we all know that it's dummy, so what's the point? Like, what's the point? So I honestly, I really feel like you don't need that much cake. So if you can, so why not just reduce, the inches of the cake, do something minimal, do something that you like, and just keep the cost low if you can. So the next tip now would be to not print things that are unnecessary. I know we do like the aesthetics of things, but why are you printing a program? Like, why are you doing that? People are not going to read it. People are going to leave it. If at all you have to do like a program or a food menu, you can actually DIY these things, and they're so easy to do, okay? All you need to do is just watch a YouTube channel, be dedicated, and you can't do it. So there's no point actually wasting money going to pay someone to print out those menus or programs that people never even look at. They always leave it on the table and they go, and you'd even be the one having to pack all of them, and you take it to your house, and it wouldn't even make sense for you. So if you want to have the aesthetics of these things, which I don't disagree, but I'm just saying that if you have to do it, then why not just DIY it, okay? And sometimes I even think like the DIYs are even like a bit more personalized, more cute, and it's just what it is, okay? So if you can't do that, then just do the other part of DIY instead of having to pay someone to do that. Okay, so the next tip would be to amend some things you do. And what I mean by this is, so for an example, I was actually quoted £3 for a set of plate and cutleries per guest. So £3 per guest, and I had 150 guests. So can you times that? So that was a lot of money. So what I did rather, I went on Amazon and started looking out for like really beautiful plates, like plastic plates, but wouldn't look like plastic. I'm going to insert it here, and you can also find the link on the description as well if you want to purchase that for yourself. These plates are actually really gorgeous. People don't even believe that those plates were not like really solid plates until they feel it, okay? So when I did the decoration, it looked really good, captured nicely and everything. And it was even really good for us, because when everybody had eaten, it was easy for people to just put that in the bin without like lottering the place and leaving things around. And if you are doing your wedding abroad, you already know how this whole things are. They would ask you to pay for the cleaning, or you do the cleaning yourself. And that's how it works here in the Western world. So if you don't want to pay for it, or you don't want to do that yourself, then it's better to use like plates like this that could help you like make everything fast for you. All you need to do is serve the guests with it and just have them trash it, and that's it. So that would really help you. You don't have to pay. Like when I was quoted £3 for it, I was like, £3 per person just for plates? Kidding me? And I had this plates really cheap. Like, come on, that was like more than half of the price that I saved. So the next tip would be that you actually really don't need a wedding planner. Don't get me wrong. Wedding planners they're the shit, okay? They are there for a reason. But if you're on a budget and you're not doing like a big wedding, I personally don't see why you need to pay a wedding planner for it. If you do have families who could be helpful to you, you can actually plan it yourself. Like I did say, especially for weddings that are minimal, there's no need for a wedding planner, in my own opinion. I did have 150 guests, and most of them were actually family. So I had like dedicated tasks to people, and I handled a lot of things myself. My husband did, and trust me, it all came together. The only thing is you have to like sync with everyone. And what I also did was like every week I would like just talk to everybody that I have, giving some tasks to do, and just see where they are with every single thing. So I was keeping to track with everything. And yeah, it worked out eventually. Like it was actually really fine. And also like the person who did the decoration and everything, she sort of played that part for me as well. So if you can't get that kind of deal with your vendor, that's another way you can actually save on your wedding. And last but not the least, I don't think you need the wedding gifts, okay? You're on a budget. You don't have to buy things to gift your guests. Okay, if you can't afford it, of course, it's such a beautiful thing to do. But if you can't afford it, there's no point sharing gifts to people. If not for anything, I feel like people who came for your wedding, because you're starting your life with your husband, you guys are just starting life afresh, they should even be the ones giving you. Again, it's not mandatory, but I'm just saying, the same way it's not mandatory for the guest to give you gifts, that's how it shouldn't be mandatory for you to give them gifts. If you can't afford it, that's fine. But if you're working with a budget, there's no point actually sharing a wedding gift. Okay, I really hope this helped someone out there. I do understand that with wedding, it's very much personal, because people have different tastes, different likes, things that they want, how they think about things, how things get to them, all of those things. But I feel like you can get something out of these tips that I've shared. And yeah, if you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notification so you get notified each time that I post. And just let me know what you enjoyed in this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay, bye.